school, a tremendous high school program, and then 2 years at Sullivan where she was able to play big minutes, and she has fit in immediately.
Gallaudet breaks the press, but it's a travel by Sophia Watcher. 3-2 pressure by Brooklyn College.
Yeah, and I think that's an okay turnover if you're Coach Stephanie Stevens, because she came to a jump stop, probably could have ball faked first to stop herself, and then go up for a layup with a forward jump stop.
2-3 zone now by Gallaudet. Kenzie's shot is off. Rebound by Green for the Bison. She's got a bad with it. Man-to-man defense right now for the Bulldogs. Sarah Starring is number 5. Kicks it back. Shot by Green. She's short. Rebound Kurtz for the Bulldogs. Looked up at Quesada. Quesada running the court. Misses the layup. Knocked out of bounds by Dior Dorsey.
Yeah, tremendous pass by Brianna Jackson, who has stepped in instantly for Coach Megan Campbell to be the point guard. And she looks the part because she can score and facilitate, and looks to get everybody going. And almost a perfect compliment to Dior Dorsey, allowing for Dior to not have to be on the ball, I think, as much this year.
Got a whistle on the court. It's going to be a foul against Gallaudet. Sophia Watcher picks up the first foul of the game. Be a side out for the Bulldogs.
And for Gallaudet, if they're going to sit back in a zone, here in a 2-3 zone, one of the great reasons they're able to do that, this is probably the biggest Gallaudet team that they've ever had, with 2 players over 6 feet, as that shot was partially altered by Natalie Green, their starting center. One of those 2 6-footers and another one. So that's what allows you at the D3 level, if you can put out a 6'2 center at Division III women's basketball, that affects field goal percentages, and we just saw that there from Brooklyn twice.
Yeah, Quesada in the last game was being guarded by a 5'8 center for Kane. Shelley's listed at 5'10. Senior transfer from Edgar Evans. Ralph, you remember seeing her play before.
Yeah, Shelley Quesada, obviously on I would say a solid and okay Medgar Evers teams that look like they were on the cusp of turning the corner just a couple times to kind of maybe crack the top half of the conference, but Shelley Quesada had to do so much and playing bigger players.
Dorsey with a steal. She'll look to finish, but Brianna Jackson right there to follow up, and she gets rejected by Green.
Yeah, again, that's 3 shots that are either blocked or severely altered by Natalie Green. And Gallaudet, I think they have to, she's only a freshman.
Top of the key, 3 that time by Anna Kitch. Ralph, when I was at Manhattanville, she made 3 of those.
Yeah, this has been the best season, or at least building to be the best season for Anna Kitch. And as expected for a senior, I've watched her going back to her freshman year, where she is a good pick-and-pop forward.
Yes.
Or rather, her sophomore year, she spent her freshman year at New Paltz. But this year, and the scary thing, I think, for opponents is for Anna Kitch, she has not shot the 3 well yet. Came in 29%, but the encouraging performance against Manhattanville, yes, and coming out and hitting her first 3-point shot today.
Speaking of Anna Kitch, she did pick up a foul, her first, team's first. Kenzie is passed over to Dorsey, the corner. She puts it on the floor. Skip pass. Kenzie in for 3. 3-pointer for the young lady out of New York.
Yeah, that's big. For Kansian, same situation. She had struggled with her outside shot last year. This year, 5 of 12 coming in. That is big. If Kitch and Kansian, if their outside shots at the D3 level are going to be, let's say, in the vicinity of 34% long-term for the season, that makes what Brianna Jackson and Dior Dorsey be even so much better. That makes both of those guards, I would say, first-team All-CUNY players because of the floor spacing that they'll get from that.
Good high-low action kick. Found Quesada for the layup. And the Bulldogs have jumped off to a 10-0 lead here in the opening quarter.
Yeah, Brooklyn against the half-court 2-3 zone that I think most teams early season are going to zone Brooklyn. But this team has the ability, I think, to bust teams out of their zone defense. Very good ball movement there from going to the corner and then feeling Shelley Quesada, who's going to play the 5 I think, in this alignment for the Bulldogs. But it was good ball movement to dissect it through, but it took about 5 possessions against the 2-3 zone to finally figure it out.
Well, against the zone, you want to be patient. You want to use the width of the court. That time they reversed the ball to Canty before they looked inside, and the big shared it well inside the finish. 10-0 lead here early. Bulldogs going to stay in the pressure.
Yeah, and this is where Gallaudet has got to attack gaps. When you see an opening against pressure, attack it with some authority and conviction. A good job by moving the ball twice with passes. And now they can get into their half court and then use that same mentality to attack gaps.
Angela Diaz, number 1's in the game for the Bisons. Shot this time by Washer. Rebound by the Bulldogs.
Yeah, that was a much better set. They just happened to miss the shot.
Can't see it for 3. Back iron, no good. Rebound, Casada. Jackson looks inside. Great pass to Kitch for the N1. Top of the basket. And a Kitch. Foul's going to be charged to Mackenzie Skird.
Yeah, that is tremendous from Brianna Jackson to be able to see that. And Jackson at Sullivan, looking at her numbers there, it was tremendous. And looking at her early numbers, 23 assists, 8 turnovers. She has way more steals than she does turnovers. And when I saw those numbers, I wonder, okay, what kind of point guard is Brianna Jackson? Is she more of a half-court ball mover, slower tempoed point guard? But that's not the case. She's able to put up those kinds of assists while still playing fast as Gallaudet turns it over. So Brianna,
in my conversation with Coach Campbell last week, she said she'd like her to be even more looking to score. She's so unselfish as a point guard, as you brought it up. By the way, Kitch is shooting 86% for the free throw line. This is Kitch down at the top of the circle, reverses it to Dorsey. Wide open motion ran by the Bulldogs. Jackson penetrates, gets it to Dorsey. Dorsey gets into the lane, uses glass and finishes.
Yeah, and that's going to be an interesting point because Brianna Jackson is a junior, and a large chunk of this Brooklyn team in terms of offense is going to graduate. Her scoring time might be next year, but there will be times against better competition where Brianna Jackson is going to have to be thinking about offense. Good pass again to Dorsey, and another assist there for Jackson. Wow.
Head up, diagonal pass. I tell my players when I coach Ralph, pick up, look up. Don't put it on the floor. Look up immediately. That time Jackson finding Dorsey for the layup. Here comes Aden Akinduye. Freshman from Benjamin Banneker, 5'6". Got a lot of talent. First sub off the bench traditionally for the Bulldogs here in the early season. Also in the game, number 14, Ariel Williams. He's a 5'7" freshman out of Abraham Lincoln. Ball goes inside the green. She turns. Back iron, no good. Loose ball picked up by Jackson.
Yeah, the floor spacing there for Gallaudet. Once they see that on film, I think that affected Green's ability to finish. As she comes up,
as it knocks it away from Kitch. Bisons look to push. Skird with it. Met by Kitch, but she uses the backboard. The Bisons are on the scoreboard.
Yeah, nice take there for Mackenzie Shurg. She's a legit 5'9" with some strength.
Skird with it now on the right sideline. Goes against Kitch one-on-one, and we got a whistle.
Yeah, they call the carry there. I think that is a turnover for if you're Gallaudet coach Stephanie Stevens, you're okay with it because I think Mackenzie Shurg was in an attacking mindset, an aggressive mindset, and this is what they need, particularly from their sophomore class that has to play like older kids with no seniors.
Mira Daniel checked into the game for Brooklyn. She wears number 13. She's a sophomore out of Uncommon Charter.
Yeah, this is a big moment for this Bulldogs program for the reigning CUNY Rookie of the Year. First game of the season for Amira Daniel, who has been basically sidelined since the preseason and trying to get herself healthy, dealing with foot issues.
Yeah, shin splints from what I was told.
So for her, I'm sure she's going to be very aggressive how she's going to channel that is what I'm going to be looking for. Does Amira Daniel let the game come to her today? You can't make up the 4 games you missed.
That can do you for 3. No good. Williams with a follow-up. No good. Kicks with a rebound. Back to Williams from the foul line. 15-foot knockdown by Williams.
Well, how about the confidence that Ariel Williams is shooting the ball? She's an undersized post player, but I think she plays, to me, much bigger than she's listed at 5'7" because she has strength.
You know what I noticed that when I did see them live against Manhattanville? She's got excellent footwork in the post. Doesn't turn the ball over, knows how to face up. It's going to be a good one. Ball's knocked away, deflected. Bison's come up with it. Green in the post, going against Williams. Good shot.
Well done.
She's a good player.
Yeah, well done. Natalie Green is going to be a really special player. So she did not start playing basketball until her freshman year of high school.
Averaging 13.5 points a game. And we know the turnover for the Bison. Evangeline Diaz, number 1. He's a freshman guard forward in Cedar Park, Texas, on the court. Another sub for Gallaudet. Janice Stairway comes back in the game. The 5'4" freshman from Noblesville, Indiana. She wears number 5. Jackson, Kitch. Ball's reversed. Daniel on the drive. Now we got a whistle.
Yeah, and I think for Amira Daniel and this version of this Bulldogs team, I think in the at least, let's say until the new year, Jim, I think for the Bulldogs, Amira Daniel's role is going to be come off the bench, provide scoring. She is a starting capable player, obviously. But the way things are set up in terms of the balance of this team, I think her role, at least until January 1st, until she gets her legs fully under her, missed virtually the entire preseason, so she's been playing catch-up. Being the second unit scorer to come in and be aggressive could be the role for Amira Daniel to come in and attack.
Kitch comes out of the game after picking up her second foul. 2-on-1 break for the Brooklyn after the steal. Jackson misses the layup. Follow up that time by Daniel, no good. Actually, that's by Williams. Transition now for the Bison.
Yeah, that's where Brianna Jackson has got to trust her left hand as Brooklyn shows a 2-3 zone.
Quezada with the rebound, and she gets tied up.
Jackson.
On the alternating possession, the ball will go to the Bison.
Yeah, Jackson's got to use her left hand there. That's what I was talking about in the show open for Brooklyn. With the volume of turnovers that they're creating, they're still missing way too many layups, for a good team. That they're 39% from the floor. For them to maximize their potential has got to be somewhere around 44%.
Then a turnover by the Bison. So the ball will go back to Brooklyn. 19-4 you scored. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in the first quarter. Sophia Washer comes back in the game, the 5'8" sophomore from Noblesville, Indiana. Washer, by the way, is averaging 9 points a game on the early part of the season. Jackson with it on the near sideline. Tries the post, then we got a whistle. Ralph, whenever you play behind the post and the pass is entered and you try to get a steal, you're going to get a foul call. That one was charged to Kaylin DeBro. She wears number 12, 6'3" out of Jacksonville, Florida. Yeah,
DeBro is perhaps she could be the highest potential Gallaudet player that at least freshman that has ever been recruited by Stephanie Stevens as we get the 3-second call. She's a legitimate 6'3", as I saw her in pregame warmups from Jacksonville. Mom played for Hall of Fame coach Andy Landers at Georgia and is a high school coach. So she has a lot. She comes in with already a high level of IQ, a touch, well-trained, and I think for Gallaudet, between Natalie Green and Kayla DeBro, their identity could be as a 2-3 zone program moving forward. In Division III, guards guards worry about having their shots blocked by that kind of size compared to D1, D2, that they're just not used to it.
2-1 break. Amia Daniels.
Yeah, much better there. Daniel is she's in the top 2 to 3 athletes on this Brooklyn roster.
Green is traveling before she shoots the ball.
Yeah, and that's an indication of youth and trying to deal with pressure. Natalie Green's got to come to a jump stop, pass it out, reverse the ball, get good post position. It does not have to be a track meet.
Yeah, that's very important, Ralph, because when you feel the pressure, sometimes you panic, you shoot too quickly, you don't look to reverse the ball. Another habit you find when you get pressure and inexperience is you automatically put the ball down on the floor looking down. Again, it's a very young Gallaudet team. It's going to be a good team, but right now they're going through growing pains. Sandra Diaz, number 4, is in the game for Brooklyn. Ariel Williams over to Diaz. Ball stays on the perimeter against the zone. Pull up, no good.
Better zone offense, though, for Brooklyn, but of course not executing the jump shot, though. But the structure was there.
Obviously, Coach Campbell's going to use a lot of players today with his 21-4 lead. Just over 30 seconds remaining here in the first quarter.
And here's an important possession because, for Megan, really the 2 areas of improvement, making layups and then half-court execution and getting into their stuff. Here is a very good test. How will they execute and look for a final possession?
We come back for Daniel.
Daniel makes it easy because she can go get her own shot. So, but I think she's still looking, what do we look like against good defense when we have to run the offense and not have to have a player go and get their points?
13 turnovers now in the first quarter for the Bison. Looking to get the last shot. Back iron, no good. So that's the end of your first quarter. Brooklyn 23, Gallaudet 4. Jim Pittman, Ralph Benosic. We'll be back shortly. You're listening at Brooklyn College Athletics on YouTube.
Brooklyn Bison, singular.
Yeah,
Brooklyn Bison.
Yeah, Gallaudet Bison.
Yeah, you were saying Bisons sometime. Singular, Bison.
It was still a series of them. They're not the killer live ball turnovers that they've been experiencing in their first 3 games, but still in the half court, they have to slow themselves down and just make an extra pass. There is a full shot clock. There's a 30-second shot clock, and I think Gallaudet, very nice takeaway and steal there by Mackenzie Shirk. Reverse the ball right here, move it around.
Ball gets inside. Green finishes.
Well done. They looked down low. Right there you saw improvement for Gallaudet.
Pass long for Kitch, out of bounds. Kitch is on the floor with 2 fouls. McCullough in the game now for Brooklyn. He's a 5'6" freshman from South Shore. This is Dorsey, number 10. Stuck in the lane, so she kicks it outside. Ball gets reversed to Kitch for three. Knocked down Anna Kitch.
Yeah, very confident-looking shot there from Anna Kitch, who's quickly up to 9. But tremendous skip pass off the steal by McCullough.
Dorsey uses glass. 28-6.
Yeah, here's the buzzsaw now, Jim. Gallaudet spacing the floor. This is where, as Stephanie Stevens said, embrace the pressure, attack it.
This time they do, and they got a 2-on-1. Look inside the green, and she gets fouled.
That was a very good possession.
Very good feed by Sienna Baird on the wing.
Gallaudet attacked the pressure, stopped. Sienna Baird slowed herself down and made a post entry and a strong move inside. That can be winning basketball for Gallaudet.
So now Lee Green goes to the line. Came into this game with a 68% free throw percentage. Makes the first. Averaging 18.7 per game coming into the contest. Makes the second. And we have some subs for Brooklyn.
Back into the game for Brooklyn, number 14,
Ariel Williams, number 14, and Alea McCullough, number 12, are in the game for Brooklyn. Janet Jackson bringing it up. Bison in a 2-3. Handoff. Easy layup that time for McCullough.
Yeah, that time there was no communication for Gallaudet.
Deflected off of Gallaudet. Sugar loses it. 16 turnovers for the Bison.
Yeah, too risky of a pass. Bison are showing signs of being able to handle it, but then they'll default back to being sped up, and this is going to come with experience.
Quezada turns middle and gets fouled. Kenzie Skird would call on the foul.
Yeah, watching Shelly Quezada at Medgar Evers for 3 years, this is a high-activity player that had immense pressure on her to score, to stay in games and avoid foul trouble, and shoot a good percentage. Otherwise, Medgar Evers was not going to be competitive, even in their CUNY games. So the adjustment for her is going to be not being the focal point of the offense. But she's I think she's a quality level player, so it could be an easy assimilation, but I still think it's going to be an adjustment because she has to move well without the ball, but not have to do everything.
Yeah, she's got a lot of help on the floor, that's for sure. Shooting 81% going into this game on the free throw line. Buries those. Bison break the pressure. Green mid-post, puts it on the floor against Quezada. Shot in and out. Rebound Jackson. She'll look to push for the Bulldogs. Ball's knocked away. Bison possession. She had a bad, number 10 with it. Jackson looks to drive. Over to Washer. Sophia Washer with a knockdown. Sophia came into the game averaging 9 points a game. Dorsey for a mid-range jumper for the corner.
If Brooklyn is going to be making those kinds of plays, pushing transition, getting easy hoops like that, they're going to be extremely difficult to beat in the CUNY, where you're going to have to force them to play a half-court, grinded-out game. And that'll affect opponents' offenses where they may feel we need to play 25, 30-second possessions in order to prevent Brooklyn from running out like this and killing opponents in pushes.
5 straight CUNY titles. Preseason favorite to win. Hunter College, by the way, got a couple of first-place votes. The alternating possession, ball belongs to Bison. Keita Kino Uribe, number 13, 5'8" junior from Downey, California, is in for Gallaudet. Evangeline Diaz, number 1. Over to Uribe. Taylor DeBrose in the game, we're number 12. And she gets called for traveling. Trying to do too much right there.
Yeah, it still isn't a concept of doing too much for Gallaudet. It's at times it's spacing the floor and being an outlet. And that time DeBro taking an aggressive move. She's probably fouled there if she makes that move 10 times.
Great post feed that time, Ralph.
Well, that is a all-league level move for Shelly Quezada. And the benefit for Shelly this year, Jim, it's going to be extremely rare for her to be double-teamed, at least intentionally. Maybe against some 2-3 zones. She's going to be able to score against one-on-one coverage the vast majority of the season.
McCullough length to the floor and finishes.
Yeah, my first time seeing Aaliyah McCullough, and boy, she looks like a version of a young Dior Dorsey.
There's a lot of depth on this club. Been demonstrated here in the early part of the year. You know, in that last play you talked about, Ralph, with Quezada finishing, the pass by Ariel Williams. You got to admire that left-handed bounce pass. Dorsey for 3. Air ball.
Yeah, good box at that time by Aquino Uribe on a high-level D3 rebounder in Quezada.
Sienna Baird having trouble. DeBro top of the circle. This is DeBro from the free throw line. Air ball. Ran down by the Bison. Ball's out of bounds off of Brooklyn.
Yeah, much better there from Gallaudet because they got multiple passes in the half court and got a wide-open shot. If they continue to repeat that, good things are going to blossom for this team. But Stephanie Stevens knows this is a big challenge, and they're still in a lot of ways in a preseason mode, working on communication.
Anna Kitch has returned to the game. Quezada came out. Anna playing with 2 fouls. (38-10). Under 5 minutes here in the second quarter. Rihanna Jackson with it. Pitch at the elbow. Faces up. Looks inside. Shot off by Williams. Rebound by the Bison, but Dorsey intercepts. Pitch on the trail. Looks inside. Count the basket. Aaliyah McCullough.
Great pass again by Anna Kitch. Looking inside, both her and Jackson. The unselfishness of this Brooklyn team is showing itself to me. That I think they have a great understanding. I don't need to force it. There is talent around me. If I just move the ball around, someone really good is going to be able to produce.
Cohesive unit. Sharing the ball, playing unselfish. 41-10 you score. We got another traveling violation against the Bison. Washer called on at that time.
Yeah, that's a typical example because Sophie Washer was not expecting that ball back from the point guard. So she motioned over, and again, that's the communication aspect of it that I'll get into more. Basically, that the vast majority of the team are new signers, meaning learning the full breadth of sign language for this team. About half the team from specialized schools for the deaf, and the other half through regular public schools who were in special programs.
Jackson looks up to Kitch for the easy layup.
Yeah, another great lead pass by Anna Kitch to Anna Kitch there by Jackson. So there's a communication barrier that is still in the midst, and once Gallaudet can solve that, it might take a half season to really do that as they turn it over again. Once they do that, then so much of the structure for Coach Stephanie Stevens will be in place, and they could truly take incremental leaps and bounds.
Well, for Stevens, this is her 13th season. She was an NCAA team last year. Made the tournament. A lot of graduation. Got 7 freshmen on this roster. Jackson outside the 3, reverses the ball. McIndoe back in the game, puts it in the left hand, pull up from 15. Back iron, no good. Rebound for the Bison. We got a kick ball. Gallaudet will retain possession. Brooklyn, by the way, will return here on Tuesday night. They'll play Colby at 6 p.m.
Yeah, and that's a huge game to battle a team from the NESCAC. So even in a lopsided game, Brooklyn knows every little mistake we cannot accept, because against Colby that will be exposed.
Ball off by the Bison.
Basically, NESCAC D3 women's basketball teams and men's are routinely having multiple Elite 8 teams, 2 to 3 teams in the Elite 8. And even if you go back years over the last decade, there are years where there are 2 Final Four teams out of the NESCAC.
Yeah, it's a dynamite D3 league. So it's almost like a D2 level. Little dish off right there. Good play that time by the Bison. Green with the bucket, Baird with the assist.
Yeah, beautiful extra from Sienna Baird.
Green with a hard foul. This will be her first. McCullough able to get up. McCullough's from Jamaica. Played at South Shore High School.
And the value of picking up players like Aaliyah McCullough and Brianna Jackson at South Shore Regional, where it's a magnet school. Most years they have multiple Division I players.
Last year, Ralph, I'll interject. I was at their playoff games. I did the PA over there for the PSAL, and very, very good program. Like overwhelming final victory and all that in the championship. So, you recruit for great programs and you want to really get your team good. And obviously, Miss Campbell did.
And particularly recruiting from those programs, the players that sometimes don't even play in those games, that might have a 6 to 7 player rotation, men's and women's. There is Division III level quality talent, as another takeaway by Brooklyn. But there's Division III capable talent on those benches.
And their practices are terrific because the starters are D1 and D2 players, so you're going against top competition every practice. Long jumper by Baird is off. Follow-up is blocked. It's out of bounds. Debro was there on the rebound, but she couldn't finish. 2:14 remaining, second quarter. Bulldogs with a comfortable lead. Washington getting doubled in the corner. Ball gets deflected, pulls up in the lane, finishes.
Oh, nice tough shot. I had the pleasure of meeting Sophia Washer. She's one of what is called the Elite Six. The Elite Six schools, great rebound by Debro, located in the United States. The Elite Six, so they're the most recognized schools, high schools for the deaf in the United States.
Looking to push. The second Douye back in the game. Little floater in lane in and out. Debro with the rebound. Yeah, Wash is from Indiana. Noble's of Indiana. So, with the ball now. Sienna Baird also from Indianapolis, Indiana.
Yeah, they have Gallaudet with 3 players from the Indiana School for the Deaf, and that's one of the so-called Elite 6. The most recognized, they have the highest accreditation, the best resources, and even teachers, many teachers, a high percentage of teachers that are also sign language certified at those schools. And they have varsity girls basketball teams and other sports too. So obviously a great recruiting resource as Quesada hits the shot off the glass. So they come in with already some experience, and they step right into Gallaudet.
Under a minute here in the first half. Waters takes a 3, no good. And Shanice Waters, a 5'3" freshman from Tucson, Arizona, wearing number 14. Akinduye to the rim, no good. Kicks fouling for the rebound, but Waters comes up with it. She's in the bag. Ebro loses it. Possession to Brooklyn. So the Bulldogs will get the last shot of the half. 22 seconds on the clock.
And again, same thing, Jim, as I said from the first quarter. Let's see Brooklyn. These are significant possessions in Coach Megan Campbell's eyes. How do we execute? Because this is going to translate against good competition.
Using the backboard, finishing is Amira Daniel. Your halftime score, 49-14 Brooklyn.
Well, both times at the end of each period, Amira Daniel basically creating a play for herself. So she is the outlier. So I think Megan still wants to see her 5-on-5 work. But when you have a player that can get her own like Daniel, it's hard to be angry, and you're thrilled that you have someone at the end of clocks can still go get their offense. But she's still thinking bigger picture. At some point, we'll face someone that can stop Amira Daniel one-on-one.
Overwhelming performance so far in the first half for Brooklyn. Young Gallaudet team in a learning experience. We're at halftime. We'll be back shortly with Brooklyn College Athletics on YouTube. At 2925 Avenue H is a proud sponsor of Brooklyn College Athletics with a wide-ranging menus including salads, wraps, burritos, breakfast omelets, sandwiches, tacos, family meals, and build-your-own smoothies. Obi's Place is something for everyone. Open from 8 a.m. to 9 p.m. Come check out Obi's Place right off campus on Avenue H and visit our website at obiplaceny.com. And go Bulldogs! Lake Applebee's at 2201 Nostrand Strand Avenue in Brooklyn, your neighborhood bar and grill. Whether you're looking for affordable lunch specials with coworkers or in the mood for a delicious dinner with family and friends, Applebee's offers dining options you'll love. Looking for that happy hour vibe? Enjoy food and drink specials anytime with our selection of appetizers, beers, and cocktails. Call ahead at 347-505-3300 to see what's on tap today. In a hurry? Place your takeout order using our to-go service and pick up your food without ever leaving your car. Brooklyn United Soccer Academy, a proud sponsor of Brooklyn College Athletics, was founded out of a desire to build a youth soccer academy for the borough of Brooklyn that is on par with the top club academies around the world. Through the process of building the academy, you are striving to redefine what a youth soccer academy in the United States is and how one operates. To learn more about Brooklyn United Soccer Academy youth soccer programs, leagues, and training, visit their website at brooklynunitedacademy.com. We'll be right back. You're listening to Brooklyn College Athletics here on YouTube. Halftime, assistant coach Rocco Salito. What's your feelings in the first half? Obviously, it looks like you're going to be playing a lot of people in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, games like this, we have certain goals we want to meet. We want to get the ball in the paint. We don't want to get sloppy on defense. We want to get into a flow, working with our rotations. Still, it's early in the season, still trying to figure, playing time and rotation. So, I mean, that's what we worked on a lot in the first half.
And tell me about Amira Daniel making her return. She's waited a while to get back on the court.
Yeah.
How would you put into context what she's looked like?
I mean, she looks good. I mean, we had her. She was, at 75% in practice, and she looked good when she was in. Even in practice, she was at her full strength, and we knew that once she got back, she was going to give us 100%. I mean, she's not the type that's going to go slow. That's just not her speed.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw, you could see what she's able to do. She's very athletic, long, good defender. She changes our team. So, we're excited to have her back, and, now we got to work out rotations again. We got into a regular rotation, and we had another player back. So, but that's a good problem.
Yes.
We're not worried about that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Rocco, thank you
All
for
right,
stopping
thank
by.
you, guys. Thank you.
We get ready here for our second half action. Looking with a comfortable 49-14 lead. Looking over at the stats here in the first half. Ralph, you mentioned about the three-point shooting was a little bit of an issue throughout the early part of the year, and Brooklyn's not shooting that well. 1-3, they're 3 for 11 at 27%. It's an area that they need to improve on throughout the year.
Yeah, and coming in 28%. Look, if they can be 33, 34%, that makes Dior Dorsey and Brianna Jackson so much better, because that means that Anna Kitch and Victoria Cancian are shooting at a good percentage. That spaces the floor tremendously. I don't think they need to be a great three-point shooting team, but I think if they're able to keep teams honest as a three-point shooting team, that makes them even closer to maximizing their potential and becoming as complete of a team as Megan Campbell and even Alex Lang perhaps have ever had. Because when you look position by position and all the different components that they can have.
Leading scorer for the Bulldogs in the first half was Anna Kitch with 11. Pizzata had 8. McCullough had 9. Dorsey also chipped in with 8 points. You mentioned Amira Daniels, we took her at halftime. In 6 minutes, she's got 6 points. Over on the other side for the Bison of Gallaudet, Green is their leading scorer. Really going to be a nice player, Ralph. Natalie Green having 8 points here in the first half. And the rebound total was kind of similar, 24-23. Gallaudet actually won that battle, but the big stat that obviously stands out are the turnovers. The Bison threw the ball away 26 times and 7 for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, and for Gallaudet, it was they had some promising signs by limiting the turnovers after about 4 minutes, but it opened up greatly again on them, where Brooklyn just sped them up. And unfortunately, I think in a lot of ways, this game for Gallaudet maybe comes at a bad time. If they had played this level, this kind of Brooklyn team, let's say in another 5 games, so for game number 10, that would also, I think, be substantial for Stephanie Stevens' team. But at some point, her team needs to adjust because she's playing 7 freshmen, and basically all the ball handlers are either freshmen and sophomores. They're going to get thrown to the wolves as it is, so they needed this experience anyway. But perhaps in the perfect world, game 10 to face this Brooklyn team would be better than game number 4 for Gallaudet. But that's the way things shake out, and sometimes timing in the season means a lot too.
And for Brooklyn, even though you have a major advantage on the scoreboard, you can't get sloppy because the competition is just going to get better throughout the year, including on Tuesday night.
Yeah, and I think that's a great point, Jim, and I think that's what Megan Campbell reminded her team. Let's try to play a full 4 quarters. Don't worry about the score, but let's play clean. A word she mentioned to me twice, playing clean. It's very easy to win games and not be clean, but to beat good teams, you have to play very clean for a longer period of time than the other team.
Starting lineup starts the second half for Brooklyn. Cancian launches a 3, no good. Washer over in the corner. Bad. Inside the green. Rebound, Quezada.
Yeah, good post entry.
Yeah.
Good post entry. Floor spacing was better there for Gallaudet.
Cancian over to Jackson. Jackson gets fouled by Green.
Yeah, and that's Natalie Green learning how to play defense there at the collegiate level. There was a high screen, and she needed to get higher on the top of it to prevent Brianna Jackson from turning the corner. Once Jackson was about 50% turn the corner, she bumped her, cheap foul against the post.
Cancian tries to feed Kitch, throws it out of bounds. For Green, that was her second foul of the game. Band brings it up. Man-to-man defense right now for Brooklyn. Serve number 22, looks inside. Kino Uribe drives, stolen by Brooklyn. Kitch with it. Gets to a spot on the block, uses his left hand.
Wow, I was thinking Kitch could be in a compromised position upon that because it was a 3-on-2 and she was in the middle. But she stayed pretty calm with it.
Very good, got under control, used the glass. 1-4 cross now for Bulldogs as they run their half-court set. Story for a 3 in the corner. Air ball. Rebound Dorsey for the Bulldogs. Jackson looks up for Quezada. Turnover by the Bulldogs. Band with it. Top of the key, Green, foul line. No good, rebound Quezada. Bulldogs continue to run. Pass by Jackson to Cancian. Torrey cannot come up with it.
Yeah, I'd like to see the Bison have more passes per possession. That was an open shot for Natalie Green, but I still think they can get better by her moving the ball from the high post, hard duck in, move the defense, and instead of her taking a shot that's a long 2, she might have been in position where she could put more pressure on a defense, including get to the foul line.
Leah Daniel back in for Brooklyn. Green with a follow-up, no good, rebound Quezada. Over to Jackson, up the right sideline to Dorsey. Dorsey looks inside. Daniel with it. Quezada from 20. Back iron, no good. Rebound Green. Kenzie Skird with it. There's number 22. It's on the floor with her right hand. Back iron, no good. Tip ball. One-hander, no good. Out of bounds off of Gallaudet. .51-14 here, early third quarter. Jackson, pull up from 8. Easy pull up by Brianna Jackson.
Yeah, she took advantage of a 5-on-4. That time, freshman mistake, Natalie Green. She was tying her shoe. That's a hard thing to do in live action because it compromises your team defensively. But you got to figure out when to do it.
Jackson and Dorsey. Dorsey left-handed layup.
Yeah, Dorsey's going to have a first-team All-CUNY season because of all the run-outs she's going to get. And this year, I would figure her percentages are going to be better because she's not going to have to force as much. And there's going to be nights, actually, where Dior Dorsey's not going to have to score for Brooklyn to beat, like, solid competition in Division III and in the CUNY because they have multiple players, all 5 starters. Frankly, for Brooklyn, I could see averaging double figures this year. And I think all 5 starters and then Amira Daniel will lead the team in scoring at 1 point. I don't know if that's ever happened in Brooklyn women's basketball history. And I could see 6 players leading the team in scoring like 3 times each. That's I think, the level of balance that Brooklyn's had this season, which might be unlike any other that they've had.
Okay, the key word was balance. Anybody at any day can be their leading scorer, a cohesive unit. prove vital down the stretch of the season. Pass intercepted by Quezada over to Dorsey. Gets to the rim. This is the layup. Kick springs up the rim ball. Jackson with it. Jackson for a long three. Front iron no good. Quezada with the rebound. Turn around, put back in.
Yeah, I would say that is Medgar Evers, Shelly Quezada there, because she goes up and finishes and goes to get her own on the offensive glass. And she's going to have that all season doing that.
Natalie Green on a layup. Jackson handling it. Gallaudet still in a 2-3 zone. Kick flashes to the elbow. Ball is deflected. And we got to reach the bell on Daniel.
Yeah, that's a possession I think that Brooklyn will look at in film. That they didn't have proper floor spacing and just kind of a lazy turnover that against Hunter and Baruch is going to cost Brooklyn in a playoff game. And, of course, against Colby College coming up on Tuesday.
Rebound by Ariel Williams, who just checked back in. Pass goes up to Kitch on the block. Uses glass to finish.
Yeah, Anna Kitch is in the midst of the best season of her career because seniors should have that. Came in averaging 18 a game, but she's showing me like a first team all CUNY season.
Pull up that time by Washer.
And Kitch is a hard guard. If her three-point shot is 34% this year, then she's probably CUNY Player of the Year because she plays very well within herself. You don't see her forcing shots often.
Step back by Jackson, no good. Loose ball picked up by Gallaudet. Washer with it. Over to Baird. Back iron. Green on a rebound, and we got a foul against Brooklyn. Ariel Williams picks up the foul.
And this is a good challenge for the Brooklyn Bigs today of Shelly Quezada and Ariel Williams, boxing out two above-average Division III players in terms of size in Debro and Natalie Green.
Debro's in the game now, giving Natalie Green a break. Debro, one of the freshmen. She's from Florida.
And both Green and Debro have a clear semblance of skill. Sometimes at D3, you're going to face size that has very little skill. So it's going to be a challenge for Quezada and Williams as we get the timeout as Gallaudet was trying to inbound the ball and could not find anybody. So from that perspective, it's going to be key.
Ralph, you mentioned something to me earlier. You know the coach of Gallaudet, Stephanie Stevens. You know her from her playing days. Fill us in.
Yeah, Stephanie Stevens playing at Cincinnati. I had a chance to broadcast her as a player when she was in the Big East. And this is year 13 for her. And she was known as a hard-nosed defensive player. Came off the bench, capable shooter from the foul line, three-point shooter, but more so for defense, moving the ball, running the floor. Growing up in Pickerington, Ohio, and a wonderful person that Gallaudet has to lead their program, and this is year 13. She spent the year as the director of basketball operations soon after graduating from Cincinnati at Maryland under Brenda Fries. Great teams with Alyssa Thomas, WNBA Hall of Famer, Angela Barrett, who was Andre Barrett's sister, who had a great career at Maryland. But she felt the calling, especially with her sign language skills, to coach at Gallaudet after being an assistant coach early in her career.
She's also in the Big East Academic All-American, all Big East academic honors. Gallaudet ball. Turnaround shot, no good. Might have been a shot clock violation. They got a foul before the horn went off.
Yeah, that's the right call by our officials. I think actually the shot by DiIII also hit the rim underneath, so that waved off the shot clock.
So Ariel Williams picks up her second. Cansian back in the game for the Bulldogs. DiIII on the line. She only had 4 free throws before this game. Makes that shot right there. Now, Ralph, you mentioned about the height on Gallaudet. Now they have both bigs in the game.
Yeah, I was wondering when we would see that from Stephanie Stevens, and she'll be able to use this. This is a very good practice for Brooklyn to face how are they going to execute against the biggest size that they might see all season, and they kind of settled for a 3, and that's, I think, Megan Campbell's going to clip that possession out and put her assistants to work, because that was not a good possession against a bigger lineup.
No. Band with a shot, no good. Possession to Brooklyn.
Yeah, nice kick out by Tiana Stariev, or rather Starev, the correct pronunciation, but nice kick out there. But now against this alignment where Green is playing the 4 spot, these are still important possessions that regardless of the score, Gallaudet trying out this 2-3 with their biggest lineup out there among the forwards. Nice kick by Diaz, and much better there from Brooklyn that they get the open 3 coming from Aaliyah McCullough.
Mackenzie Skirt on the rebound. She's at 5'9". She's also in the back line in that zone. Shot got tied by Mackenzie.
And I think this is not going to be this could become the base lineup for Gallaudet with the zone, and Skird being the third shortest player for Gallaudet. It's intimidating for teams, and it will also slow down opposition that the Bison will face, because they'll think about how do we manipulate the 2-3 zone and get something down low and not settle for threes.
Yeah, shorten the game a little bit, making an up-tempo game. The only thing I would be concerned about is with 2 bigs on the floor, is that going to hurt you against pressure? But it's one way to attack the team with that 2-3 zone using your size. Turnover again by Gallaudet. Santa Baird on the foul.
Yeah, our official taking a spill, but he's okay. Sandra Diaz coming in now for Brooklyn. What a valuable player that she has been, experiencing all of this winning. And to have a senior level player like her to I would say basically be your 8th to 9th man for Megan Campbell is a tremendous luxury.
Well, Coach has a lot of respect for her. She's one of the 3 captains on this year's team. Out of the Bronx with the Community Health Academy. DIII, 21 also back in the game. Ball is kicked, loose ball. Gathered by Ekanduye. Into the corner. Can't see him will launch for 3, and she gets fouled.
Yeah, that's a little bit of a force by Victoria Cansian. She's a confident shooter, but still 17 on the timer. Give it up, relocate, get it back, and then greatly improve your percentage based on where you are. That's where in a lopsided score, that kind of thing gets forgotten. But in a closer game like Colby coming up, that shot selection, that decision, that gets exposed.
Nancy makes the first free throw. Brooklyn's been perfect from the line this afternoon. That was Green's 3rd foul. There's a 3-point attempt, so Canty gets a 3rd free throw.
And what she provides after 2 years at Farmingdale State, last year she did not shoot the ball well at Brooklyn. But if Victoria, based on the early going, as she makes all 3 free throws. If she plays the way she did at Farmingdale State, 31% from 3 as a sophomore, again, floor spacing, substantial for this Brooklyn team because Kansians shooting just like Anna Kitch make Dorsey and Brianna Jackson so much better.
And opens up the floor also for post play. Kansian with it. Akindunye. Posada back in the game, top of the circle. Akindunye from 12, short blocked. And we got a whistle. Alternating possession, ball will stay with Brooklyn.
Yeah, the zone look has been okay for Gallaudet. It's been the turnovers that have crushed them, and when you have a team that is still having a language barrier as Kansian hits the 3 there, having a language barrier, the zone is sort of perhaps that's the training wheels to get to the man-to-man.
It's a good point. When you have a young team starting to open a 2-3 zone, it's a good way to teach. You know, when you're going against older players, sometimes you get exposed off the dribble more in the man-to-man defense. The zone covers areas, so it's a good point.
Yeah, I think it simplifies things for Stephanie Stevens, and it gives them some pretty good film and simplifies assignments as their communication is going to grow with each passing day, both innately and in terms of their signing. And that's the hardest thing to do in game. Typically, you're going to use your voice, but for Gallaudet, they're going to need to rely on their coach to sign and make symbols to everybody, and they're going to have to read each other's body language too.
Fatu Sagners checked in for Brooklyn. She's a freshman. She's got it now. Wears number 15. Brianna Jackson patrols it for the Bulldogs. Akindunye for 3. Knocked down for 3 by Akindunye.
And she came in 35%, 6 of 17. So that's why she is right now probably the 4th guard.
No basket at the end of the quarter. Brooklyn 67, Gallaudet 22. You're listening to Brooklyn College Athletics here on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure you have to do that again, or do that at the start of the 4th quarter. Then you can lead me into.
Make Applebee's at 2201 No Strand Avenue in Brooklyn, your neighborhood bar and grill. Whether you're looking for affordable lunch specials with coworkers or in the mood for a delicious dinner with family and friends, Applebee's offers dining options you'll love. Looking at happy hour vibe? Enjoy food and drink specials anytime with our selection of appetizer, beers, and cocktails. Go ahead at 347-505-3300. See what's on tap today. In a hurry? Please take your takeout order using our to-go service and pick up your food whenever you need your car. Well, it's a very special day here at Brooklyn College. Let's talk about our Alumni Day.
Yes, 65 former Brooklyn College Bulldog women's basketball players that have come out. Some even played when they were the Brooklyn Bridges, going back to the late 1980s. That were still members of the Division I program, but recent stars. Taylor George, the James sisters of Sarah and Erica, just within these last 5 championships in a row. Point guard Karen Mack. There's a long, long list of players and Brooklyn College alumni here. To have 65 players show up for an alumni day, Jim, there aren't many programs nationally. There's about 450 Division III basketball programs. I don't know how many of them for an alumni day are going to get 65 to come out. That's very special and a testament to this coaching staff led by Megan Campbell, Associate AD Alex Lang, who of course coached many of them, and longtime assistants like Amalia Sedaris and Rocco Solido and Nicole Francomano, who many of her teammates, she's a young alumni on the staff, but there aren't many. To get 65, that's a whopping number. That dropped my jaw when I heard from Amalia. That's how many players came back because they feel still a special connection to the program and the school, even if they don't have a personal connection anymore with anybody involved in the program.
Well, you might have graduated 30 years ago or 2 years ago. You're always going to be a fan. So, they're being treated to a special team here. 5 straight Cuniac championships. I'm looking forward to another one. Back to live action, 67-23 our score here in the fourth quarter.
And among the positives of that I think also have to be mentioned, that these, I think the current players get so much from it, from the little interactions that they'll gain, maybe in the same major. They're going to see successful women who put in a lot of time in the gym and became better people and better in their lives as in their families and building their own families. And I think that's a tremendous example. And one there from Sophia Washer.
Good first step to the rim. She looked to complete the three-point play. Patrick Sagner picks up the foul for Brooklyn. Audrey Watt-Vogel, number 20, enters the game. She's a 5'4" sophomore from Glendale. Played at Queens Metropolitan High School. This is the free throw. Brooklyn with the ball. Jackson. Watt-Vogel misses the three. Sienna Baird. Over Mackenzie Skirt. Running one-hander. Attack to the glass by Skirt.
And obviously for Gallaudet, can you win a quarter? Those are the little short-term goals, and can we have a under 10 turnover quarter? The little things for Stephanie Stevens that she hopes to show a small glimpse of, that she can multiply in practice and show her team an example of that. Good dig down off the double team in the zone.
Baird with it. Over to Skirt. Into the corner. Washer. Ball's deflected. Picked up by Watt-Vogel. This is the shot. Rebound Akindoye with a follow.
Yeah, Akindoye, she's bouncy at 5'6", Benjamin Banneker Academy. And the Bulldogs bench, something when you look during this 5-year championship run, the quality of players that Megan Campbell has had, I'd even go back to last year. I think the Brooklyn bench was substantial, and then to win their fifth straight championship, because they've been able to absorb and withstand injuries that they've had in recent years, like Destiny Drummond, and have just the next quality player step up. And right now it looks like they can go to the 9th, 10th, 11th players against quality competition and not going to affect them.
Yeah, Brooklyn will be back here Tuesday night. And they play Kobe, 6 o'clock. And then they'll be playing CCNY on December 5th at 5 o'clock. Right around the corner, league play. As we mentioned earlier, Brooklyn was a preseason favorite by the coaches to win their 6th in a row. Hunter College also received some preseason first place votes.
And having experience so with so many returners is such great value. And I would love to even ask former head coach Alex Lang and Megan now, the quality of practices this Brooklyn team may have, I don't think she'll have the answer yet, but let's say sometime in mid-January, this could be the best quality of practice that Brooklyn has had, at least in Megan's 3 years, because of how good the second unit appears like it might be. It's on the younger side, but the second unit looks to have a pretty good depth to it.
Now, here's a question for you, Ralph. In a hard-nosed conference game, how far your depth you going to go? I mean, what would your 8-9 players in the game? You know, here you're getting to play everybody in a lopsided score, but in a 5-point game. In your viewpoint, how many do you think she'll be playing?
I think based on the pressure that Brooklyn wants to put teams under, they can play, I think, close to 9 full-time players, even in a CUNY final with an NCAA tournament bid on the line, and even against a Colby College, because the freshmen that have come in, Aria Williams, Aaliyah McCalla, all have definite roles. Sandra Diaz off the bench. That's a senior that knows what she's doing defensively. Akindui. So those are 3 freshmen plus Diaz that all appear like they have assimilated and are integrated into the lineup where they have a definite role, all off the bench, and that should have a great cumulative effect in terms of pressuring teams.
Castellanos in the game. She wears number 1. Senior from boys and girls, stands 5'4". Started with a follow-up, no good. Ariel Williams gets tied up on the alternating possession. Ball stays with the Bulldogs. Yeah, one thing also, Ralph, when you have a pressing team, you have a tendency to play more players. And, you know, obviously one of the MOs for Brooklyn is their press. Kicked over here. Ball's inside of Williams on the block. She turns middle, kicks it outside. Shot off, rebound for Gallaudet.
So that's a good possession there, Jim, for the second unit. They had a couple of shots early there, kept it moving, looked for a good look, feet set Diaz for 3. She had missed a shot, but it was still a good possession because it made the defense work. They could have even had one more duck in there and one more touch for Ariel Williams. One of my biggest pet peeves of offenses is when teams don't re-enter the ball into the post. They get the first touch in. Very few college programs get the repost in. And I find if there was a statistic analysis, the repost does tremendous damage.
Sure. The defense is going to be untouched the first pass to the post, and they might fall asleep when you re-enter it. Plus, you're going to get better position. Gallaudet underneath. Ball is stolen by Brooklyn. It's Sandra Diaz, number 4, bringing it up. Into the corner. Audrey Ward-Vogel, number 20. Williams over to Diaz. Williams at the elbow, kicks it to the corner. Ward-Vogel's shot is off. Rebounded by Sandra Diaz. Castellanos, shot no good. Rebound by Gallaudet.
Still, that's good zone offense.
Yes.
Ball moved inside, kick out. A shooter with her feet set for 3. Offensive rebound, feet set shooter again. That's good offense.
Transition out for Brooklyn. Ward-Vogel's 20.
Good extra by Diaz.
Pull up. Knockdown. Diane Castellano knocking it down.
Again, those are 2 senior players off the bench, but look at the composure that Diaz is able to play with. And a nice finish by Debro, but that kind of composure that Diaz can bring to the floor, there's very few Division III programs that can turn to someone like that in the course of a big game, a championship game, or in the course of a season with the inevitable injuries and foul trouble occurs, that keep the level high.
Just under 5 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. More substitutions. Jimmy Gallaudet, number 14, Smeet Walters, the 5'3" guard out of Tucson, Arizona. Leah McCullough comes back in the game. She wears number 12 for Brooklyn. Vogel, number 20, loses it. And Gallaudet gives it right back. Angeline Diaz wears number 1 for the Bison.
Yeah, and Gallaudet is the combination of trying to play very fast, and also Brooklyn, because of their quality and style, they are also speeding them up too. So it's a vicious, it's a deadly sword that way. That the only solution for Gallaudet is going to be to adjust to the speed of the game as Castellano hits another outside shot.
Right wing jump shot by Castellano. Also the game for Brooklyn, number 22, Jessica Hurt. Green is short. Put back by Skirt. She'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, Mackenzie Skirt is a valuable player for Gallaudet because she plays a kind of a 3-4 spot, undersized 4 spot. But my takeaways for Stephanie Stevens is they're going to continue to try to curb down the turnover number, and take some positives from this that they experienced the speed. Is that when they went 2-3 zone with both posts? I'd love to ask Stephanie how many times they've done that, but that proved to be effective. And perhaps 10 minutes a game, she can turn to that when she looks at both Natalie Green and Kayla DeBro's fouls, and if they're both at 2 under in the third quarter, two fouls are under for the 2 of them, as Castellano hits another 3. That's but they can turn to that for extended periods of time if those 2 have low fouls.
3 threes for Castellano today. And we got a foul against Brooklyn. Foul's going to go against Turk. Jessica Hurt, the freshman from Melbourne, Australia. 5'4". Her first foul. DeBro on the free throw line. 2 for 2 on the day. Front iron is off. DeBro from Florida. Perfect on the second one. 76-31, Brooklyn over Gallaudet. Just over 3 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. With patience here, Ralph, in his own offense.
Again, terrific. The high post position is doing well between Aria Williams out there, as well as Fatu Sagna. They're both doing a good job in terms of being the 4-man, the high post player, drawing the double team, and then passing it out to an open shooter.
Green's pass to DeBro is dropped by the Bison. Turnover against Gallaudet.
The next phase is going to be for Sagna and Aria Williams to both look from the high-low pass as the passer from the 4 spot in the free throw line down low to the other post. That's going to be the next portion where that puts defenses in a real bind, wondering where do we cover, can we extend out, and then that makes your shooters better because they can't close out as much. So that'll be the next phase of this zone offense, but I would think based on the numbers, and today, again for Brooklyn, 5 of 25 for 3, 20%. So they're gonna face a heavy dose of 2-3 zone moving forward by teams at the bottom of D3 for sure, and even the quality D3 teams too. Nice finish by Mackenzie Skirt.
I would definitely play Brooklyn in zone because it slows down the game. You have matchup troubles in a man-to-man defense.
Bulldogs foul. Charge number 15, Hunter Simon. A third.
Simon picks up her third foul.
Sophia Watcher, number 2, is Gallaudet.
Sophia Watcher back in the game, number 2 for Gallaudet. Diaz on the line. In and out on the free throw. Got a lane violation against Brooklyn, so Evangeline Diaz will get another free throw. She's from Cedar Park, Texas. She stands 5'2". She attended Texas School for the Deaf.
Yep, and that's one of those Elite Six schools that a vast majority of the recruiting for Gallaudet is done through.
Front row on the bonus free throw. And Diaz. Gallaudet staying in that 2-3. A little too aggressive that time was Diaz. She gets called on her foul.
Yeah, that time I don't know if it was by design, but based on the lineup that Stephanie Stevens has put out here, that was an aggressive 2-3. So she has both of her centers on the bench here. So she's going to walk her team through and go about that. Another amazing story over on the Gallaudet bench too. Jim want to get to is the Gallaudet coaching staff. And one of their student assistant coaches, Cam Lexow. So Cam Lexow is a great story. She attended the University of Virginia as a soccer player from Abington, Pennsylvania. Obviously a high-level soccer player. Graduated UVA in 3.5 years, and then has spent the last 2 years at Gallaudet. She only played 3 years of soccer. Then the last 2 years she played at Gallaudet, went and played Division III basketball. She had majored in special education and minored in interpreting in sign language. Last year, Cam Lexow was tremendous, 15 points a game, 6 rebounds for obviously a high-level Division I soccer star at about 5'9", to carry Gallaudet to an 18-11 season. She's a student assistant this year, and she's hoping to play professionally somewhere overseas in basketball next year. She was an assistant coach for the Gallaudet men's soccer program too, and she is on her way to becoming certified as an American Sign Language interpreter. So she's pretty conversational with this entire team, and represents a great connector for Stephanie Stevens too, to have a high-level athlete like that joined in last year and had a great year.
Last minute and a half here this afternoon. Been handling it. Ball goes into the corner, now inside. Sagina's getting a call on a travel.
Yeah, nice feed and duck in there. Sagna just could not hold her post, her left pivot foot. When you make the catch there, hold it, ball fake. So they'll work on that in practice and show her that.
Guard pivoting into the corner. Air ball thrown up by Gallaudet. McCullough runs it down and she loses it. Does anybody come up at it? Running one-handed that time by Wasser.
Yeah, the good news for Gallaudet, that's 3 players into double figures in this game. Still, the 41 turnovers represents a season high. And as I said right off the top, the Bison would be facing the greatest pressure defense they had so far to this point. And, you cannot overstate no seniors, 7 freshmen, graduating 7 seniors off of last year. So some years I like to say, Jim, every year programs in high school and college will turn the page. there are years where you really turn a chapter, where you have a substantial plus-minus in roster. And this is that year more so than any other season in Coach Stephanie Stevens' 13 years at Gallaudet.
Yeah, like you mentioned earlier, this is a tough game for this team in November. Maybe later on in the year they'd be more prepared. And the press that Brooklyn has, like you said, is the best they faced all season.
Yeah, nice turnaround jumper there by Skurrit, too. Meanwhile, for Brooklyn, that's 19 turnovers, too, so that's still, I think, going to be too high of a number for Megan Campbell to be happy about.
And a 20% percentage for three-pointers, she's not going to be happy about either. Sager's going to get called on a foul. Skurrit go to the free throw line. 2 for 4 in the afternoon. She has 12 points. Leading the Bison. Washer with 10, Green with 10. Skurrit makes that. For Brooklyn, Kitts leading scorer with 15. Gallaudet and Dorsey both with 10. And McCullough with 9.
Well, Gallaudet's going to come away winning the fourth quarter here. Yes, against the Brooklyn second unit, but against a perennial power like this. For this particular Gallaudet team, I think for Stephanie, going on the bus, they're going to end up winning the fourth quarter 17 to whatever if there's any free throws here with 3.3. So that's a big deal for them. Their zone had some potential. And then Brooklyn's zone offense, I think, is something translatable. That's something to take away because I think Brooklyn is going to face maybe 75% of this season. They're going to face some form of zone, so they better get used to facing it and becoming quality against it. Not just about the shots going down from three, but their choices within the zone offense in terms of that execution. And I think Brooklyn did take in totality a step forward in their zone offense.
With the win, Brooklyn goes to 5-0 on a young season. Gallaudet falls to 0-4. Final score: Brooklyn 76, Gallaudet 40. We'll be right back with our postgame. You're watching Brooklyn College Athletics on YouTube.
Okay, yep.
throughout the season. I saw you guys up in Manhattanville. You used it again today. How would you assess how the pressure worked?
Pressure is definitely a big point of emphasis for us. I think it helps us start games, kind of setting the tempo for our team, not only defensively, but it helps get us going offensively as well. So.
And then, Meg, you get back Amira Daniel here, highly anticipated debut after she's been waiting to get herself healthy. How would you evaluate her, and how does she change your team in the bigger picture? Because now you really have about 6 starting capable players that you'll have the luxury as a coach to figure out how this will mix in well.
Yeah, definitely. We're really excited to have her back. It's unfortunate that she had, an injury at the start of the season, but, we're really proud of where she's been focused throughout practice. Obviously, you see her getting minutes early, so she's definitely earned it. She's going to pick up the pace even more, increase our defensive pressure, and she'll get it going on the offensive end as well. So very excited to have her back.
And one more from us before we let you go for Brianna. How about you're going to face zone probably most of the season. How would you assess the way your zone offense is starting to come along, and you're leading into your game against Colby, which is so far be by far your best competition of the year Tuesday?
Yeah, for sure. We're getting better against the zone. We saw it a lot last year. It's definitely been a focus in practice. We definitely got to clean it up a little bit. We've added a few things here and there. We do have a lot of young players, so they're still getting used to it. But we'll be good. So we're excited to get Amia back too. It helps things out a lot. So.
Well, congratulations, Coach, and good luck on Tuesday.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good
Point guard here with the Bulldogs. You have a lot of help offensively, and that press is terrific. How do you have the mindset about sharing the ball with your teammates?
Well, it's a lot of pressure being a point guard, so I just try to find whoever's open. My teammates are really good at spreading the floor, so my head is always up, and I'm just looking to find my teammates either way, on and off the court. So.
Seems like you got a lot of options to find, too.
Yeah, I do.
That's a positive.
Everyone's running the floor really well, so yeah.
And Brianna, how would you describe the way you've bought into pressure defense? I don't know if you've played certainly at South Shore Regional. I'm sure you guys played pressure defense. At Sullivan, maybe not as much. What has it been like for you to assimilate to playing what is probably for you when you're in the game 30 to 35 minutes? The pressure mentality to pressure your opponent to a very high level. There is no relaxation defensively. What's that been like for you to buy into that mindset and to have that mindset permanently?
Well, so in practice, my teammates pressure me really well, so I try to handle that, on the court as well. We're really big on, staying on top of the ball, hands out wide open. So, Coach, she never lets us slide with those slack in defense. So, yeah, handling pressure is fine. Handling is, I don't know. It comes easy, I guess I could say, because I've dealt with it for several years. So, yeah.
Well, you certainly did a dynamite job this afternoon. Great start to the season, and your next game is Tuesday. And best of luck.
Thank you.
That'll do it. Brooklyn College with a 76-40 victory this afternoon. They'll be back here on Tuesday to play against a very talented Colby squad. Brooklyn now with a 5-0 record. For all Rapid Arctic, this is Jim Pittman. Have a great day.